friends. It is Wellness Wednesday, time for another coffee talk. This week, we are going to look at some specific foods and how they can help you with your bloating. So, whether your bloating is because of overindulgence, just coming off of the holiday season, or if it's because of hormone imbalance, right? So, maybe you might notice that at around the same time every month, you start to experience this bloating or discomfort. It's a good clue that it might be hormone related. So remember, we are women. Things don't happen in a linear fashion for us. We have cycles, and sometimes it takes a few rounds to figure out if it's a cycle of hormones, fluctuations, right? Increases and decreases if they happen naturally, or if maybe it is environmental, something we ate, our mindset, how we're coming to our meals. So it's not so simple. It can't just be a food that we ate and it's causing this. So that brings me to our recipes for this week. I have three of them. They're comfort food recipes. And you might, when you look at them, think, oh, these seem a little spicy. I can't eat those when I don't feel good. And I want to caution you against that because when you alienate a whole food group, it really limits what you're able to do. Your body is amazing. It has the capacity to heal when given the right nutrition. So unless you have an allergy, now that's something different, or an intolerance, and even intolerances sometimes those change over our lifetime from different phases throughout your life. So I want you to look at these recipes with an open mind and a curious mind. Now, I have chosen all of them because they serve a purpose in the nature of bloating, GI discomfort, all of this constipation, diarrhea, all of that we don't want to talk about while we're eating, right? So these recipes, there's a minestrone soup. Sometimes when you're bloated and you're tired, especially if it's hormonally related, sometimes you just don't have the capacity to make anything. And therefore, you're going to go and order in. You're going to get DoorDash, you're going to order pizza, you're going to do something like that, right? Or just, eat whatever junk food you have in the cabinets. So that's not going to help you get over this hump of feeling heavy and bloated and just yucky, right? So sometimes something you can put in the Instapot or the crock pot and just let it do its thing and then put it in the freezer for later, right? If your bloating is related to hormones, the way that you know that is to keep track for 3 months, right? So, I talk about try something out, one thing at a time, and then do it for a whole month, and then do something very similar for the next 2 months so that you can see if there's a cycle or a pattern. If you're always getting bloated around the same time every month, then you know that this might be hormonally driven and not necessarily the holidays, right? So having something in the freezer that you can pull out, that you don't have to put any energy into, might be very helpful. The other one, the second one is a chickpea curry. And that might seem like a lot when you think about all the ingredients that go into that, but fiber is healing. Fiber is very healing for the gut. Many of my clients, when they first come to me, they tell me that they completely restrict beans and lentils. And when I, say, let's try some beans and lentils, their first reaction is, whoop, nope, can't eat those, can't have those. It causes gas and bloating. So gas and bloating is a lot of times because you have this imbalance in your gut and you need to heal it. The best way to heal it and to, get that healthy gut action back is by giving it nutrients that it needs. Fiber is one of them. So don't discount beans just because they're the nature of the beans, they're associated with gas. Sometimes there's a little bit of an increase. And then if you give it a chance over time, you'll find that you have a much healthier gut in the long run and you're much more able to tolerate things. And then the third recipe is a teriyaki meatballs. And the reason that I have included that this month is because it has ginger in it. So there's ginger in a couple of these, but ginger is very soothing for your GI system. So you can look at the ingredients. Maybe, I don't like onions, or I don't, I react to onions. You can pull those out. Keep the ginger. You can play with recipes are not set in stone. You can play with them. You can approach them with a curious mind. So we're looking at how to get some relief from bloating. And as I've said before, this is not an immediate cure. It takes nourishing and pulling things that you're not agreeing with. So maybe you need rest. Maybe your bowel just needs a complete reset, right? So your GI system needs to rest. Instead of eating oatmeal, maybe you're going to eat cream of wheat, or maybe you're going to have scrambled eggs, something that's low fiber and very easy. That's the idea behind the low FODMAP. We pull out all the things that cause inflammation, and then systematically and gradually we add them back in to see what you can tolerate now. And we keep doing that process until eventually you get all those foods back in. So with enough space and enough time, your gut, your GI system will heal itself. In most cases, you just have to be patient and systematic with it. Okay, so the recipes that we're looking at this month are all comfort foods designed to be things that you can make ahead of time if you have the desire, or when you're making them, you can make them in larger batches and you can freeze them, put them aside for a time when you just don't have the energy to invest. So I'm going to pause here for just a second. All right, here we go. You have it. Okay, so hopefully those three recipes inspired you to make something comforting and that you can plan ahead and make ahead. Simplify your life, right? If things are already feeling a little hectic to you and getting healthy food on the table is the biggest challenge to feeling better, then these comfort recipes might be exactly what you need. So, these recipes are all pulled right from the Mindful and Balance membership, where whole database of different recipes, how to use them, what I do lessons on certain foods and what you can use them for, and if you have conditions, how you can treat them using these foods. So basically, it's a little bit of education and a lot of recipes. And then, if of course you just want straight out recipes, you can just subscribe to the meal planning subscription customizable database, literally just a database full of recipes. So, options for getting this healthy food onto the table. So, from your Google search to I need to add more of XYZ, how do I actually make this happen? How do I get this on my plate? And how do I get it working for me in a mindful and balanced way? Because there's a lot of information out there and it can be really confusing and overwhelming. And the last thing you need is just another huge just database full of recipes that you have no idea what to do with. So that is my passion project with the membership and of course the meal planning subscription, either one of those. So next week I'll be back again with another coffee talk with you for talking more about gut health. We're doing a whole series of gut health and then we'll move on to something else in a few weeks, but for right now we have a lot of ground to cover and I'll give you little bite-sized bits every single week. That's all I have for today, and I will see you next time.